and welcome to this episode of the Gunman Raw. So we've got another full respray on a Mazda CX-5. So I've done all of the prep work, I've done the edge masking, and we're in the booth ready to throw a piece of plastic over. So doors are off the car, obviously they're all masked up. And yeah, this video will do the rest of the masking. We'll finish the masking off. And I've decided that for this job, I'm going to do a base coat and a clear coat video. I'll do it sort of similar to what I did last time. So I'll break it up into wet on wet and base coat. And then I'll do a separate one for the clear coat stage. So, I mean, it must feel like you've seen this before if you're a regular to the channel, but these are warranty jobs and they've just got stone chips in them. So they're warranty jobs for Mazda and we just got to fix the stone chips. So yeah, I think my boss told me there's like 4 more outside. So there's me and one of the other painters and we just rotate between me and him painting these jobs. Occasionally they get me to do 2 in a row, but yeah, either way, it's all good. It's mainly the CX-5s, it seems to be the CX-5s and the Mazda 6s, but I have done a Mazda 3, one of those little hatches, come to think of it, but it's always this Sol Red Crystal, always this colour. This shop here used to do Kias as well. They were doing some warranty work for Kia too. I think they did something like 200 yellow Kia Stingers or something like that. Crazy. But yeah, it's good. It's all good. Keeps me on my toes. Keeps me busy, and I've been enjoying doing them. If for no other reason, just learning and upping my skills. You know what I mean? And you never stop trying to improve. Every time you do a job, you sort of try and improve on it, learn from maybe a mistake or just something that you could do better the next time, you know. Incremental improvement. So one thing I'm going to do on this is viscosity cut my base coat and my clear coat. So the last time I did one of these, I actually didn't even have a viscosity cup. So I actually just ordered one through work. I just told my boss, hey, get a viscosity cup in please. He's like, yeah, no worries. They're cheap, they're only like 20 bucks anyway. So I'm gonna viscosity cup the base coat and the clear. So one thing that I found strange about the PPG, I know I have mentioned it in another video, but their thinning ratio for their base coat, it's got like 2 different, well, it's actually more than 2. There's a couple more. You can choose, but it recommends 15% thinners, which is just water, demineralized water. So 15% water for metallics, and 20 for solids, right? I think they put the extra bit in for solids to make it a bit thinner to help it dry, so it's not quite so thick. So I noticed when I did a couple of solids and didn't put that extra bit of reducer in, it took a lot longer to dry. So it's kind of nearly the opposite than Standox, because with Standox you put more water in, it actually takes longer to dry. But my point was going to be before is that like their recommended thinning ratio is 15% water, right? And then after checking the viscosity, the viscosity at 15% was like 43 seconds or something like that. But their recommended viscosity for their own base coat is like 22 to 26. So it's like your own thinning ratio and your own recommended viscosity are way out. So that's what, I don't know. Let me know if you're an expert or if you got any explanation as to why that would be the case, like why their own recommended thinning ratio and their own recommended viscosity would be so far out. So, and I actually had someone else leave a comment, I think he was from Europe or something like that, and he even said, yeah, like, he said, man, you should be viscosity cupping your base coat as well, and he said what you'll probably find is you're best off running about 30% reducer in your base coat. So I did that on my last respray. I haven't done it on every job, but I did I did do a video on that. It was the C200 Benz, the black C200 Benz. Many of you guys have probably seen it. And I did find that the base coat, okay, so it didn't actually fill up as many of the sanding scratches as you would expect, because you're thinning it down, you're lowering the build, obviously, but it sort of seemed to go down a little bit flatter, which makes sense because it's not as thick. And then I think it was a combination between the thinning ratio of the base coat and also the thinning ratio of the clear, but the clear coat just went down like glass. It really did go down nice and flat. So that's a long way of me saying I got a feeling I'll be able to get the orange peel better in this job here, because now I am using the viscosity cup and I'm going to be using it for the base coat and the clear coat. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what the kind of results I can get on this job, because what I did find previously, some of these jobs here, they were just a little bit chunky with the finish in them. Like the orange peel was a little bit chunky. So yeah. I apologize to some of my viewers, and I hope you're still watching. I had a couple of people complain about my maybe being a little bit too political in my videos. So I'll try to tone that back a bit. I know how polarized the world is these days, and people don't want to hear other people's opinions, which that doesn't in and of itself sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? If you can't even listen to someone else's opinion without, you know, hating them. I mean, I actually deliberately go out of my way to listen to other people's opinions. Like, I'll listen to people like Vosh or Vaush, whatever you call them, and then I'll listen to Alex Jones. I'll listen to him for hours, you know what I mean? I want to know what's going on. I want to listen to them properly and see why they think the way they think, you know what I mean? But I guess, look, to be fair, this is a spray painting channel, so I guess people don't want to get too political, and yeah, that's fair enough. But I guess the reason I mentioned it mainly because I just walked into the city last weekend and I saw these big protests, and I think I actually don't even think I was getting too political. I just said, can you, like, I don't even like it when I get a negative comment on my channel. I might, if it's really bad, I might feel bad for a couple of days. So I just put myself in the position of, like, imagine being that guy, the politician that like 100,000 people are marching down the street screaming F you, you know what I mean? Like, all I said is that I'd be out of here, man. You know, I'd be like, okay, this didn't work out. I'm leaving this country, you know what I mean? I was more trying to make a light-hearted commentary on, and not even political. I don't care if it's left, right, up or down, you know? It's like, I wouldn't I wouldn't be in it anymore, put it that. Like, I would quit the job. I'd be like, no, everyone hates me, I'm out, you know. But yeah, honestly, when it does come to politics, I honestly just want what's best for everybody, you know. Like, I don't want the division, and I don't hate any group of people because of what you think, you know what I mean? And as long as you have pure intentions with your political beliefs, I say good on you, you know. Yeah, I might disagree with you, but as long as you're being honest to yourself, then and you want what's best for everyone, well then good on you, you know. But as I say, I'll try to avoid the politics from now on. Hope you're still with me, Mice in Oz. He was one of the guys that left the comments, sort of didn't seem to like my political stance, but hopefully you're still with me. And yeah, like I've also been talking about Adelaide a little bit lately, and I might move there eventually. Look, I think for the short term, I'm going to be in Melbourne. Like, I'm not going anywhere in a hurry. Like, my family live here, and I've mentioned previously that I do have a daughter. So the actual reason I moved back to Melbourne was so that my daughter could be close to my grandparents, her grandparents, to my parents. And I got a brother and a sister. Well, actually I got 3 brothers and 1 sister. So, you know, I want my daughter to be close to them. And that's actually why I'm back in Melbourne. It's, personally, I reckon Perth's heaps better. But, yeah, it is, for those who don't know, Perth is like, it's a 4-hour plane ride away. You know, and by the time you get everyone on a plane, the 3 of us, you know, you're talking a couple of grand, and then, yeah, so it's an expensive, and you're not just going to come down to Mum's birthday or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, the long and the short of it, I think I'll stay in Melbourne for now. There's great things about Melbourne. There's some negatives about it too, obviously, but I think a big part of it is just big cities get like that, you know what I mean? I don't think it's specifically a Melbourne thing. I just think once cities get to a certain size, they just get a little bit hectic, if you know what I mean. So it's not like Melbourne specifically is a bad city, or there's like, you know, more bad people here than anywhere else. I just think that when cities get to a certain size, they get a bit hectic, you know. People get a bit on edge, and they're not quite as polite and happy as they would be in some of those smaller cities. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, look, I am one more lockdown away from leaving, like and yeah, I'm sure people can appreciate that, but yeah, like if that, I mean, we're over 90% vaccinated now anyway, so I don't see that there's any reason to, but if they come up with one, I'm out. I mean, I'm not going to, like, straight away, you know, I'll put the wheels in motion and just, you know, it might take a year until I finish the lease on the house I'm living in and organise to move through another place, but I'm one lockdown away from leaving this city for good. Yeah. And honestly, that's not even for me. Like, lockdowns, I actually save money. I don't mind them. Like, I'm a bit of an introvert, you know. I'm pretty happy just living my quiet little life and going to work, going home. I mean, to be honest, like, life doesn't change a great deal for me during lockdown. I know it sounds a bit sad. Yeah, I'm that much of a boring prick that I don't even barely notice, but it's more for my daughter, man. I told you before, I've got a daughter, and she's like 3.5 years old at the moment, and it hits her worse than anybody, I would say. Like, it's just, I think it's really bad for their development, and like they can't go out and do anything. Like, there was at one point they locked the parks down. So like, that, to me, that's straight up evil, man. To like not allow your kids to go to a bloody playground, like, that's, I don't know, that doesn't seem right to me. It just seems like a little excessive. But yeah, again, you can't really talk about anything these days without getting political, can you? You want to kill grandma? So I'm also going to try and get this job just a little bit cleaner than last time, because these jobs here, like, they have to be perfect. Like, they basically have to be returned to factory paint. That's what that's the aim with these things, right? Because it's warranty work for Mazda, it's got to be, you know, that's why we're taking all the panels off, we're making sure all the edges are really nice and neat, and every nib comes out, you know what I mean? All these edges have to be right. So I don't know, I felt like the last one, like, it wasn't like there was big chunkies or real big nibs in it, but there was a lot of smaller ones. I don't know, and it just seemed like it took the polishing guy a little bit longer than what I would have liked, you know what I mean? I always think about the next guy in line, I guess, you know, and you don't want that polishing guy to have to clean up after yourself. I always feel bad when I get too many nibs in a car, but yeah, that's another thing I'm gonna try and improve on this job, is to just get it a little bit cleaner. One thing I've done, you might notice, I've actually moved those doors in a little bit. Kind of feels a little bit tight between them, but I've done that to hopefully get them off the walls a bit, because you can get turbulence across on the walls in these spray booths. Like, if you get overspray, you'll see that around these corners you can get sort of turbulence. Just make sure that it's still running. Yep. Yeah, I've actually got a mate who he didn't want to get the vaccine, and he's a mechanic, and he's been working for a place for like 14 years and his boss sacked him, but he didn't have any choice. That was the government's mandates here in Melbourne. So you take what you will out of that, man. I'm not even saying my opinion. I'm just saying that's a fact that a friend of mine was forced out of his job. But yeah, I'm actually going to go over to Adelaide for Christmas at some point over the Christmas. I'm going to have a week and go over there. So that should be good. I think long term, I could see myself in a place like Adelaide. So for those of you who don't know, Adelaide's just a small city. It's the capital city of South Australia. South Australia is one of the states here in Australia. And it looks clean and nice, and I don't know, it seems to be like the kind of place that you could retire, you know what I mean? I think it's like 1.3 million. I was actually quite surprised at how small it was. I jumped on Google and checked the population. I was like, wow, I didn't realize it was that small. But yeah, like housing prices seem to be a lot more affordable. As I say, you're gonna have a few advantages of not being so big, you know what I mean? People, I guess, are probably going to be a bit more laid back, and yeah, they seem to have nice beaches. That's what I hear. And so here in Melbourne, we're in a bay, so we don't have the ocean, but they're like real. They got like the ocean, and it looks like you can get some nice houses not far from the beach at affordable prices. So I might even buy a house over there and sort of pay it down until I'm ready to leave Melbourne. Because I was like driving to work, and this is in the middle of winter. This is probably like 3 months ago, right? I was driving to work and it was miserable. You know, pretty average Melbourne day. And it came across me, this feeling, and I just said to myself, I'm not going to live here when I'm old. You know what I mean? Like I can live here for now, and you know, it's all good. There's definitely some advantages in Melbourne and that, but I just said to myself, no, 15 or 20 years, I'm not going to be here. You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. I think that the weather can also play on your happiness. I don't know. I think so anyway. Like whenever the weather starts warming up, and I mean, my YouTube channel is proof of that. Whenever, like now it's starting to warm up, it's spring, you know, it's sort of t-shirt and shorts weather. I'm always in a good mood when it starts warming up, you know what I mean? So I think actually living in a warmer climate can actually help being happier. But yeah, so another thing that I've got coming up, which I think I did mention it in a video the other day, but a guy that watches my videos, he found where I work, and it turns out he actually had his car painted here like 15 years ago or something, and he found out, I don't know how he realised that I worked here, but anyway, he's getting that same car painted through us soon, and he wants it candy over flakes, so that'll be really cool. It's a bit of an older WRX, so I don't know, like maybe 20-year-old WRX or something like that, around that era. And yeah, he wants candy over flakes, so that'll be really cool to do. So that'll be something to keep an eye out for. I'll probably do a main channel video on that one, and no doubt a couple of raw vids, but I still sort of trip out that anyone would sit down and watch me for 20 minutes masking a car up. I don't know. I still kind of, I don't know, it's kind of cool in a way, I guess, that what I do during the day is interesting enough for people to actually sit down and watch. They get entertainment or value out of it, you know. Oh yeah, this channel's been going really good lately, so big thanks to everyone for watching and supporting. Daily vids from the Gunman Raw. Why not? Well, this masking stage is nearly there. We've got to do some false edging, then I'll be doing some prep soling as well. So one thing that I did do is wipe the panels down with a microfiber before I did my masking. I think that helps get some dust off as well. And as always, if anyone's got any tips or pointers, be sure to leave them in the comments below. I don't just mean it, I don't just say it. I do actually mean it when I say I'm always open to recommendations. Like there's one guy who left me with some interesting spray gun settings for the Supernova, which I'm going to revisit, but not on this job. I'm not confident with that gun yet. I'm always still a bit worried I'm going to get runs with that job, with that gun. Very unforgiving from my experience. That's popped down. I've got to push that up. Don't want to get overspray in the cabin of the car. This is why I plugged all these holes up from the inside. So when I put the wet on wet down, I'm just going to be going over the faces. I'm not even going to be aiming for all these edges or anything like that. Just going over the faces. The last thing I want is it up in all those jams and that. So wet on wet is basically the next stage. As I said, I'm going to be prep soling it soon. Then the wet on wet, and then the ground coat color, 3 coats of, and then we'll do a separate video. So yeah, there should be probably 2 more videos on the body of this car. So what I might do is I think I did that last time, just focus on the body of the car, and I'll turn the cam off when I'm doing the doors just to stop it from getting too long. But hopefully you can yeah, watch along and learn something or just enjoy. Got a few little false edges to do around these edges here. Yeah, these are actually better than the Mazda 6s and Mazda 3s, because for the masking, that is, because with those ones they've got the sill panel that's all painted. So with here, like, it's generally pretty easy not to get an edge there, but with the Mazda 6s, like, the sill panel sits out from the door, so a lot of the time you'll get a bit of a nasty edge there. Last time I did get an edge and I had to actually spray one of the door jambs. I wasn't able to tidy it up, so that happens sometimes. But yeah, like, I was actually talking to my boss about it, and I said, man, the biggest part of this job is the polishing. And he's like, yep, 100%. It definitely is. And that's just due to the level that they're expecting out of it, you know. And as I was talking to my boss about it, you know, so like I did a XK Jaguar, right? I did a video on it recently, and yeah, on that car we masked up the door handles, which is something we really don't usually do. We masked up everything on that car, you know. So I guess my point is that we do what the customer wants, you know what I mean? We're capable of doing this, taking every single part off. We're capable of polishing them up for literally 5 days, you know. They will spend 5+ days buffing. Now, to be fair, our buff guy, he does only do half days, but you know, it's still like a lot of polishing, and every single nib comes out, you know, any single imperfection. I mean, within reason, there's always going to be something that you can find, but they take it to a very high level of quality on these jobs here. But on the other hand, if the budget's low, well, we can do that too. You know, it's not like we're some evil people out here to rip you off and do dodgy work, you know what I mean? Quite the opposite, really. We're just here to provide a service and I guess make a bit of profit in the meantime. But yeah, we're just here to fix your car, get you back on the road, I guess. If you want cheap and cheerful, we're here. If you want slow and perfect, we got you too. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy at this shop. It really is, all things considered, one of the better shops I've worked at. I think a big part of it is the management. It's really well run, and they're cool. Like, they're easygoing people. They're not stress heads. They're just, calm and easy going, and good people too. So yeah, like there's a job out there that, so today's Friday as we're making this video, there's a job out there that is going today. That is the first time, sorry, there's a job out there that isn't painted yet that is going today. That's the first time I've seen a car go on the same day it's getting painted, I think since I've been here, you know, and it must have just been, I think we'd been an apprentice down all week, so that's more the reason probably why they're behind on a job, you know. But generally it's like there is no, oh, rush, it's got to go today. No, they're more well organized than that. And no disrespect to my old boss, they're awesome people too, but there was a lot of that. There was like, it was nothing on a Friday. There'd be 5 jobs that still needed to go on that day. I mean, you've come this far, so I'm sure you probably want to watch me do some false edge masking. We may as well do it. You come this far, let's finish the job off together. You got to get the pressure right on these or else they'll flick back up. It's the pressure on the backside here that's important, or else it'll start flicking up. So you want it relatively tight like that. I hope you can see up there. Yep, you're still recording, that's important too. Battery's not dead yet. I think the video footage has been pretty good lately on the GoPro 10. I still can't quite get rid of that flickering. It's more like when I move up and down like that, you get some flicker, but I think, honestly, I've just got it to the best I will be able to get it. And a big part of that's these lights. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this job comes up. I might even write everything down. That's what actually I might do. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper, the viscosities and the settings on the guns, so today's Friday, and then I'm actually going to be painting the parts on Monday. Well, I might even have to prep the parts up on Monday. We'll see how we go. By the parts, I mean front and rear bumpers, bonnets, all that kind of stuff. So I want to get those settings the same, and specifically actually the viscosities are very important too, because that will change the color. Yeah, if I go and get the viscosities wrong. Yeah, that looks nice and tight. See how that's nice and tight to that line there? I'm confident that's not going to get any edge. But again, that's one of the key things I reckon, is getting your edges nice and neat. And a big part of that is masking, but also a big part of that is how you spray it. So we're not going to be going hard on that edge. Just enough will get there, even just spraying like that, you know, enough's going to get there. Yeah. Looking nice and neat. Well, thanks for watching to the end, guys. We're just about done. As always, if you would like to support this show, be sure to go and check out the link in the description. There's a merchandise link. That's always the first link, so that's the best way to support the show. Otherwise, you can go and support me on the alternate video hosting sites like BitChute and Rumble, and all my social media links are also in there. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, I just post photos and stuff and short videos up there sometimes. Be sure to follow us over there. And yeah, I think we're going to leave it at that for a vid there, guys. I do have to do a little bit here, but I think we've showed you enough for one vid. Anyway, I'll give you guys a quick look over the job there. Looking nice and neat and clean. Like, there's not a big thick layer of dust over that already, so it's already clean. Yeah, that's it for a vid there, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching. Until next time, get out there and paint some shit. Coming out.